You're exhausted. All you want to do is sleep. But the moment your head hits the pillow, your mind wakes up. Thought after thought, one thing leading to another. And now instead of drifting off, you're stuck in your own head. So what's that all about? Why does our mind seem to switch on at the exact moment we want it to switch off? Welcome back to the channel, or if this is your first time here, I'm Tim Box. I'm a mind coach, and for nearly 15 years I've been working one-to-one with clients to help them get control of anxiety. And one of the most frustrating experiences people describe to me is when their anxiety levels start to impact their sleep. And it's this weird experience. They're tired, they're ready to sleep, but their mind just won't stop. So in this video, I want to explain why that happens and how we change what's happening without actually even trying. But first things first, let's get one thing straight. So the first thing you want to understand is that your mind is not malfunctioning. It's not broken. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do, thinking. That's its job. Work on the next problem, fix what needs fixing, come up with the best tactical and emotional strategies for your ongoing happiness. It might surprise you to discover that the problem isn't that thoughts are showing up, the problem is that you've decided they shouldn't be there. Now, during the day, your mind is active all the time. In fact, a lot more active than even the busiest of nighttime activity. But you don't notice it in the same way because your attention is directed outwards in conversations, towards tasks, focused on whatever you're actually doing. However, at night, all of that stops. There's less going on around you. Even though you might be thinking about taking action, you're not actually doing it. So there's no sensory feedback about the tasks at hand. You're just pondering, you're not actually taking part. So your awareness turns inwards, and suddenly the thoughts that were always there anyway kind of feel louder, more intrusive, and maybe even more important. And that's when the struggle begins. That's when we tell ourselves these thoughts shouldn't be here, and we try to turn them off. In these instances, most people respond in a very understandable way. They try to quiet their mind. They try to push the thoughts away. Maybe they try to force themselves to switch off. But of course, the mind doesn't work like that. The more you try not to think something, the more attention you give it. And attention is what keeps those thoughts alive. So what starts as a small stream of thinking very quickly turns into something that feels relentless. We start to increase our focus on what we now perceive to be a problem, and that only intensifies the thoughts. It's like zooming in with a microscope. The thing that started as a tiny concern has now, thanks to increased focus, been blown up into something that looks like a monster. And this kind of adds another layer to this. You'll probably already know this if you've had a few nights where this has happened. Your brain starts to make an association. Bed becomes the place where thinking happens. It becomes a place of anticipated struggle. So even before you've had a single thought, your system is already expecting it. And that anticipation creates just enough tension to keep the cycle going. But let's do something about this. Instead of trying to stop your thoughts, what if you stopped seeing them as the problem? Because having thoughts at night isn't unusual. What creates the struggle is the relationship you have with them. If every thought feels like something you need to deal with, your mind will stay active because you're giving it a job to do. You're actively setting yourself against the current process. You're creating conflict. And we can't be at peace if we're constantly going to war. But what if instead we allowed the thoughts to come and go without needing to solve them? What if we permitted our mind to have these thoughts and in turn we allowed ourselves to not have to do anything about them? Well, we might just find that they lose their grip. What if when you lie there and your mind starts racing, instead of trying to shut it down, you just notice it? Turns out that when you're just watching it happen, the response becomes radically different. A client recently told me about a mindfulness practice they're fond of doing, where you visualize your thoughts like a river. Sometimes that river will flow pretty fast. Other times it'll be fairly calm and slow. Sometimes it might even look like rapids racing by. If we jump in and get caught up in those thoughts, we could easily find ourselves getting swept away. But if we resist the urge to get involved with them and allow ourselves to simply sit on the riverbank, we just might find it's easier than we thought to simply watch the water flow. Things are a lot less scary when viewing things from the safety of the riverbank. When we allow ourselves to discover that we don't need to follow every thought and we don't even need to get rid of them, things start to change. Before we go any further, have you checked out the members area of this channel? In there you'll find hours and hours of extra anxiety and mind coaching content, including my full control system training and the Clear Your Head Anxiety Relief Program. You'll also get full access to exclusive weekly live Q&As. It's just £9 for a full month's access, and you can join by hitting the button on the homepage or clicking the link in the description of this video. See you there. The truth that many people miss is that you don't need a quiet mind to fall asleep. Sleep isn't something you achieve by eliminating thought. It's something that happens when your system stops being on alert. And that alertness doesn't come from the thoughts themselves, but from effort, from trying to do something about them. The tension that interrupts the natural sleep process comes from needing things to be different. When we accept our thoughts as they are without feeling the need to get involved with changing them, the tension dissipates, and sleep is the inevitable result of that. So if you take one thing from this video, let it be this: your mind doesn't need to switch off. It just needs you to stop fighting. Because when you stop trying to control your thoughts, you stop feeding the very thing that's keeping you awake. I really hope you found this helpful. If so, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos about sleep, anxiety, and all things related to how your mind works and how you get the best from it. Always remember, be kind to your mind. I'll see you next time.